So we started tonight with the legendary Hardy Boys, the TNA Tag Team Champions, were coming for title versus title. You know what? There is something about the Hardys that when they come out, it just makes you feel like a kid again. Right, Vic Joseph? I certainly don't blame Vic Joseph. After all, he's probably just hyped up after eating all his candy, right? With Bound for Glory looming, though, the Dudley Boyz would be front row for tonight's NXT Showdown to watch this first match between the Hardys and Dark State that would crown new NXT Tag Team Champions, Matt and Jeff. The Hardy Boys take the NXT Gold for TNA. And for the first time in their careers, win the NXT Tag Team Championships. We gotta talk about this though. One of the most unfortunate botches I think I've ever seen. And it was Osiris Griffin for Dark State. As he went for a leg drop on Jeff Hardy, he completely missed. Fans have dubbed this online the Bluetooth leg drop. Now, honestly, I don't know if Jeff was meant to lean backwards and obviously take the leg drop, or if Osiris just completely missed. I will give him the credit, though. He didn't just go on with the match and pretend he hit the leg drop at all. He did then sell it, and the commentary obviously covered it up with, he missed it. But yeah, come on, it did look really bad. And then another botch by Osiris. Of course, Matt Hardy on his shoulders, he did fall forwards, and that looked like it could have been really bad. But I feel like Matt Hardy obviously steadied himself and went straight back into it to save that spot. Well, don't forget, on Sunday, it is one final table. It is the Hardy Boys versus the Dudley Boys one more time. Well, Team 3D in TNA, obviously. It doesn't matter the banner of the promotion, I'll be honest. This match right here is worth ordering the pay-per-view. Genuinely looking forward to Hardys versus Dudleys. The second match, though, it turned the attention to the women and the 8 Women Survivor Series tag match. The TNA Knockouts Tag Team Champions, the Inspiration, the former IICONICS, would actually come out with their IICONICS theme song. I thought that was a really nice touch. Always cool to hear something you haven't heard for a while. The first elimination was NXT's Jada Parker. She was pinned by Mara Sade. Got to mention the unfortunate botch by Mara, though. That big moonsault completely overshot it. It wasn't Jada's fault. It's not even Mara's fault. It's just one of those things. But they adapted very well. I am undoubtedly a huge fan of Mara Sade. I like Jakara Jackson in NXT, but obviously since she left NXT and has gone to TNA, I honestly think she's absolutely shined. I don't think this was her best match whatsoever. But if you get an opportunity to watch her in TNA, please do. Because we talk all the time about men that leave WWE that could come back one day. I think for the women, Mara Sade's name is right up there and potentially a future world champion. A really bad botch during this match, though, and it came in the form of the final elimination, Lola Vice. Kalani Jordan eliminated Lola, and the ring announcer would announce, "And your winners, Team..." and stopped. We know exactly at that point what she was going to say, Team NXT. The announcer quickly then did change to announce that Lola was eliminated, but obviously the damage was done. The match wasn't over. And then we'd watch Team NXT then pick up the win, with the final members surviving being Sol Ruca and JC Jane. Definitely interesting to have both champions for NXT, representing NXT at least, be the one standing tall at the end. I thought that was cool. I'm not going to trash the match because of the ring announcer botch, but it did take away from that ending 100%. I still enjoyed the match though. The match itself was thoroughly entertaining and very well thought out. Matt Cardona was backstage tonight. I think we all expected him to actually be on the card somewhere. He wasn't, but all hope is not lost as Josh Briggs will then come in. Both Matt Cardona and Josh Briggs want the same thing. Matt Cardona hiding behind the door was brilliant. Love that. And the match is set for next week on NXT. It will be Matt Cardona versus Josh Briggs. So TNA versus NXT is not done yet. But just a word of warning, next week's episode of NXT was pre-taped tonight because a lot of the production crew will be over in Australia for Crown Jewel. SmackDown and Raw, that's all taking place in Perth. So they got that recorded, so you might actually hear a spoiler or two online. But typically, NXT are usually good at keeping them back. Mustafa Ali returned to a WWE ring tonight as he looked to lift the curse and win what was owed to him, the North American title, but yes, he was unsuccessful. Ethan Page retains. One of the best storytelling finishes of the year, though, as both Mustafa Ali and Ethan Page would go over the announce desk when Mustafa Ali would emerge. He had Booker T's microphone cord wrapped around his ankle. Ethan Page would then shove him from the top rope, driving him into the barricade outside the ring. That looked really bad, to be fair. But it would allow Ethan Page to retain that championship and for the commentary team to say it. The curse continues for Mustafa Ali. It's always a sequence of unfortunate events that means Ali cannot go to that next level. I mean, maybe one day that curse gets lifted. Blake Monroe has her eyes set on the Women's North American Championship, also stirring the pot between Zaruca tonight. Now, are they actually going to break up Sol and Zaria, just as Sol and Zaria are about to feud with Charlotte and Alexa? Time will tell, I guess. After a backstage sort of meeting between the two, Lexus King will take on Dr. Wagner Jr. next week on NXT. That should be pretty fun. I will say, I think it's a shame we couldn't get a TNA commentator to join like Vic Joseph tonight and actually do one-on-one, obviously an NXT commentator and a TNA commentator. But then it was all eyes on tonight's main event, the men's Team TNA versus Team NXT. Miles Bourne got his moment, but was very quickly eliminated. The first elimination was Team NXT's Miles Bourne. Javon Evans was the next eliminated, pinned by the X Division champ, Leon Slater, of course hyping up their match for Bound for Glory this Sunday. Question though, with Leon pinning Javon tonight, does that mean Javon might win the X Division title? We'd see problems though between the two surviving members, Ricky and Trick jumped off the apron. Trick did not help Team TNA. He walked out on Ricky Saints and Team NXT. We're all thinking that Trick loses the TNA title at Bound for Glory to Mike Santana, right? So presumably this is to set up Trick versus Ricky for the NXT title. Although Ricky Saints would try and actually pin two of TNA's talents, it would be unsuccessful for NXT in the main event, as Mike Santana pinned Ricky Saints. Mike Santana and Moose win for Team TNA. All friendly at the end of the show, though, as Ava and Santino would congratulate each other as this ended 2-2, of course. But what we then heard was Ava extend the invitation to the TNA Knockouts division for a battle royal to crown a winner for the #1 contender spot at JC Jane's NXT Championship. So the invasion isn't technically over yet. The partnership will continue at least. But let me know your thoughts, as always, in the comment section down below. For me, a very solid 10 out of 10. Tonight, completely delivered. Loved it. Make sure you hit the like button on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And I'll see you, as always, next time. Peace!